Evening, people. It is Thursday night. Are you ready? All right. Very excited. Let's get some people loaded in this room. Do some chatting. We'll see who all hops in here. It's going to be a good night. For one, these people know how to keep up. That's right. We're going to be throwing some bird. Whoop. Let's see who wants to join in this live. Oh, who all's in here? Mindy? Oh, Kelly, what's up, brother? Hey.
Hey, what's up, Phil?
What's going on?
Hey.
How are y'all?
Good. We're doing great.
Fantastic. I like the y'all.
I grew up in Arkansas. Come on now. Ain't no hope back where I know.
I claim the y'all also.
Her dream is to move to Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere I can say y'all, I'm good.
I can't stand that humidity. It's too much for me.
I love it. Are you wearing your Jordans?
No.
Oh, you should have
Should've.
put them on.
Just got a fresh pair, too, in the mail yesterday, so, oh well.
I love it. I love it. Well, maybe the last basketball pair of shoes you ever get to wear.
Maybe.
They done shut the whole thing down here in Oklahoma
Yeah,
City.
they were North Carolina inspired, so that's down the drain.
Oh, golly.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in this world, but anyway, I'm super excited to get to do this. I've been wanting to have y'all on for a while, and I reached out, and y'all were gracious enough to accept the invitation. So hey, it's finally going to happen.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. We're excited.
I know you're the man. You asked all the questions, but I got one question right off the rip.
Shoot, go ahead.
Are we your first duo to be on here?
Well, kind of in the aspect of like it was planned for y'all to be a duo the whole time. Josh and Emily gets fit in Lifetime. She lives up in the Northwest. She came on, and then he joined her. He's also an Instagrammer as well. They were together whenever Oprah called and that kind of stuff. So they're kind of a couple as well.
All right.
Me and her talked for like 40 minutes, and then her and Josh talked for like 20. So y'all are the first to be two for the whole time. So unless one of y'all leave.
Take it. Always trying to be first at something.
This guy is horribly competitive.
Technically, when I had Kelly on, we tried on his phone, Kelhet, fellow ambassador, and his phone was crazy. So he was with Heidi, another ambassador, who they're now engaged. Congratulations to them. So we went live, me and him, on her Instagram account on my channel, and it was crazy. And she stepped onto the screen a couple times, but she didn't technically join. So y'all are the first of a full-on planned duo.
Oh,
We'll take it.
Yeah, so I only had one request from my person who always asked, is there anything you would like to know? And their question was, why do they have a shared account? So we'll ask that question first, and then we'll get started.
Why do we have a shared account?
Probably because if it wasn't a shared account, Rick wouldn't be on it at all.
Probably.
Oh.
So I feel like I sort of like bullied him into it a little bit. At the beginning, he like never even wanted to be a part of it. He would allow me to like post stuff on his behalf, and then I would he started getting a lot of like feedback from like the men, right? Because he's a man, and that was exciting for like the men of WW. So I just started to like, come on, the people want to see you too. And then
I got over it. Yeah, I got over that, and then I just realized, like, you know what? Everybody's here for the same reason. We're all here on the same path, so why not just embrace it?
Yeah, and now you're freaking in WW commercials, so I'm glad you got over yourself.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
That's like the best thing ever. I love it.
Yeah, that's too cool. And you got to meet my real life friend, Yvonne. So how cool is that?
For real? I didn't know you knew her in person. She's so sweet.
She's amazing. Love her.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. Like, I've only known her a short time now. It's longer now, but so because of the her being in the commercial and that kind of stuff with y'all, whenever y'all went there, like, she popped through my Instagram, and I was like, hey, where are you from? And she goes something about like, hey, you're from Oklahoma City. I'm from Oklahoma City. And like, turns out we only live like 2 miles from each other. So we met up and went to a studio and stuff. And it was after my WW had launched. So we walk into the studio, and I'm like, of course, I've had hours long conversations with her, but I walk in with her and I'm like, hey, everybody, that person here, she's on the wall. So it was hilarious. I got to introduce her to my coach, and then we all took pictures together and stuff. So it was way cool. So, but yeah, we've hung out several times. We were both there and got to see each other at the Oprah thing down in Dallas. So she was on just a second ago, so I don't know if she's watching right now, but anyway, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So I always start these off with a pretty similar format. And the first thing is kind of how y'all learned about WW. I mean, like if you were a kid or wherever, and like what your first thoughts about WW were, kind of how you joined, maybe a few times how you joined, what's made it stick. And then from there, I always want to kind of break apart the 3 tenets of WW, and that's food, activity, and mindset. And then we'll end with a little session. If you want to ask me any questions, you can. So tell me how y'all learned that WW existed and why it's good for you.
Well, she had the first exposure, so I'll let her go first.
I did the whole round like ages ago, like probably early 20s, you know, when we had the slider. And I was successful on it for a few months and did it by myself. It was way before Rick, so did it by myself, and I just sort of didn't continue doing it, and then that's how my first like experience. So I knew it worked, but I just lacked the commitment that it needed at the time. And then
I learned about it. I mean, I've always like known about it from commercials or whatever advertisement. And then I learned about it in 2018 when she said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And, you know, our strength is that we try to do everything together just to support one another. And so at first I didn't really want to do it because my perception of it was that it's marketed towards females. Like it's for females, like Midwest moms who want to drop a couple pounds. And I was just like, that's not for me, but yeah, I really wanted to support her, so I kind of just jumped in with her, like having really low expectations.
So
okay, yeah. So you joined in 18. How long ago was it that you joined?
But February 28th was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Just had a 2-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And how much have y'all each like? If you hit goal, where you at on that process?
We hit goal and then sort of like backslid a little bit. So we just kind of hit a recommit button like 2 weeks ago, a week ago.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's not that big.
Rick has lost my favorite thing.
Well, I lost a total of like 103 pounds, and then right now I'm about 97 pounds lost. So it's not too much of a difference.
I think my most lost was like 57, and I'm kind of at like 50. Maybe it was like 59 was my highest, and then like now I'm at about 52 pounds or something close to that. Okay. So we're close enough to goal. We're mostly happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that stage, but it's hard. It's always a journey, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's never ending. So
yeah, it absolutely is. Absolutely is. So what do you think was like? Did y'all ever do WW like 10 years ago at all? Like
I didn't.
I did a long time ago, like I said with him, but
I think when we first started dating, like I saw a slider thing that she had in her car, but I was like, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah.
Youngin, just kidding.
That's
but
funny.
I think doing it together this time around has been everything for our success. Because he's so helpful. You know, it's great like that we do it together. We meal plan together. We grocery shop together. We meal prep together. I think it's a lot of work, you know, like if you want to like, if you're looking at forever, there's a lot to do. You can't just wing it. You have to like be mindful about what you're doing. And I think it's really helpful that we're mindful together. So I'm so grateful that he was like, he didn't really want to do it, to be honest. But he was like, well, I don't want you to like be successful and then me not.
Well, my plan was to go about it like, cause she was, I mean, there's a whole story behind it, but she was unhappy with, you know, her health. Both of us were, but she was more in a deeper, darker space than I was. And she's like, I just need to do this. And I was like, all right, like I'm going to do my own thing. And then like just taking some time, I realized, you know what, that's not how we roll. That's not how we do things. So yeah, we're gonna, you know, I didn't tell her. I was just thinking about it. I was like, I'm just going to do it with you. And she was really happy to hear me say that.
Yeah, it was super.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So as far as fitness goes, y'all kind of still do that together as well. What's y'all's regimen for that? And like,
Oh,
how long have you done that? Like, has it been a part of your journey from the get-go, or have you just
I mean,
integrated it slowly?
we've always enjoyed fitness and movement, even when we're at our heaviest weights. I mean, and that just proves that, you know, any amount of exercise is not going to outdo your food choices. So,
Yeah.
you know, but we've always been into movement and fitness. But right now, and it's kind of evolved. We just kind of go with what we like. But right now, we're doing a combination of cycling and a combination of like high intensity interval workouts. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really fun.
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We do cycle bar and we do something we call YSI with some friends of ours.
Yeah. And
group
So what is
training.
that?
It stands for.
Oh.
It's not real. We
I mean, it's real.
It's
It's a real group of people.
but it's not like a membership. Like you're not like
Oh.
we're not paying. You know, so we meet with some friends who are super great at fitness, and they do a lot of like obstacle course. Like they're legit, like like
They're considered pro obstacle course racers.
yes.
Okay.
And they train us at YSI, which stands for Yes Sir Inc. Because whatever Jimmy tells us to do,
We just say yes.
we say
sir.
yes sir, and we just do
Oh.
it.
Yeah, and so that involves like a lot of stuff. It involves a lot of weightlifting, a lot of running, a lot of rowing, just things that like get us like our heart rate through the roof. And so a combination of those two things. So it's, I think one thing that we try to do is like always do something that we love and enjoy and like, because with fitness, with activity, if you don't like it, it's just gonna feel like a chore, like something you have to do. And I look forward to those days to you know getting sweaty and getting moving and stuff like that. So to me, it's a big thrill.
I don't love working out, to be honest with you, but I do it because it's a healthy choice, and it's something I should do. And I don't like to be like left out. So if he's gonna do it, I want to do it too.
Hey.
She has major FOMO.
I do.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So tell me this, break apart a little bit.
Yeah.
If you don't get your activity in, what happens to you? Like for whatever or circumstances or reasons that you don't get to go, how does that affect you? And like, what do you do to overcome that?
I'm a big creature of habit. I'm into routine a lot. And so I really like to have, for me, my 4 days of activity.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't get those, it kind of throws me off, and I kind of feel like I got to squeeze it in somehow. And it's just, for me, part of a routine, a regimen that I like to stick to. So it doesn't make me panic, but it makes me feel like, okay, I got to fit it in somewhere else, because it's just a lifestyle that we've adopted. And it's like, it's important to me to get it in, and I enjoy it. So it's not like, to me, I feel like I'm missing out on something I enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's a key thing, to be able to find an activity that brings you joy. I say it all the time that, like, as kids, we don't learn that activity is supposed to be hard or suck or not want to do it, or, you know, we just got to go as a kid. So somewhere as an adult, we learn to not like it. And I think that doesn't have to always be that way. I enjoy going to the gym and doing hard things. It amazes me the things that I've been able to accomplish with only 1 year of working out in my entire life. Like I went to the gym one time after I hit 100 pounds in 2018, and then in 2019 I went 136 times. So, and that's only 3 times a week as an average for me. I mean, it's not even 3 times a week. I skip some, so 150 would be 3 times a week, and that level is sustainable for me. That was one of the things. So I was just wondering, like, you talk about going 4 times a week, like, are you able to believe in that is a sustainable amount, that you'll always want to do that level? And I think if we set ourselves up for success, especially like this week, that's one of the things we're talking about, is doing the things that set you up for success, not actually setting this goal out there that you can achieve. And I go 3 times a week, you go 4. That seems very sustainable and attainable, rather than coming in and say, well, I'm just going to be this workout person and go 6 times a week. Well, what happens when 2 days in the week you don't feel good or something like that, and then you don't hit 6? So is that something that was key in your thought process when y'all started doing this at this level?
I mean, it's definitely a compromise, because if it was up to me, like, I'd be there 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And she would be there 0 days a week if she could. And so we always try to find like a healthy balance.
Yeah.
So we're both happy. And so we settled into 4 a week, and that's been sustainable for us. I mean, it involves working out on Sundays before we go to church. So it's definitely, we fit it into our schedule for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't guess I know your full family dynamic. Is it just the 2 of y'all? You have kids? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just us two.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
both teachers. We're both teachers, so we see kids all day long.
Oh, so you
love
get plenty
it.
of that, huh?
Yeah.
We just want to leave them there at school
Yeah.
and love them tomorrow.
That's
Yeah.
the best. It's like teachers and grandparents. They have the best. Spend all the quality time you want and then go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get that. So our kid's on spring break. We have a kindergartner. She's on spring break starting after school tomorrow. So and then next week we'll have lots of extra quality time. So
Ooh,
we're
that's
excited about
fun.
that. Yeah. So so how do y'all handle food? Like, do y'all both love the exact same foods, or do y'all cook different things? Y'all always WW point friendly food? Like, how did that part of your journey grow? Like, first of all, tell me kind of like what a typical few weeks of meals might look like before y'all started WW. What did you change?
Oh man.
Okay, this is an embarrassing thing to share with you, but anyone who listens, we used to eat out, no exaggeration, maybe about 12 to 15 times a week. Yeah, right.
Okay.
It's like, dang.
No joke. Like I'm not even exaggerating. It was.
And the sad thing is, we buy groceries with the intention of eating them, but they would just sit in the fridge.
So we were wasting money. Like, we buy the vegetables and we would be like, let's get a pizza.
Yeah.
Or it's raining. Like we would have like stupid.
A reason, excuse for everything.
Yeah.
Anytime it rained, which doesn't happen a lot in California, but if it would rain, 100% we had to go get ice cream. Like we had all these random like rules. Like if we had a bad day, we needed to go and have Mexican. Or if we had a great day, we needed to celebrate with Topper's Pizza. Or we had all these reasons of we just love food. That's like we love food. So eating out a lot. I mean, we would probably cook maybe once or twice at home. And when we say cook, it meant like something like from Trader Joe's that we could just like pop in like a skillet, something from Costco that was like ready, but we just stuck in the oven. That's what our normal eating used to look like.
And this one, she has a major like sugar addiction. So she would admittedly would eat ice cream for breakfast.
Oh yeah. Oof. Like I would, and not even put it in a bowl. I would just take the container and like sit on the couch and eat until I got full, which was, I had a big stomach, so it took a long time to get full.
Okay.
Big tank to fill up.
So sad. So that's what it used to look like for us.
Yeah.
So you can change, people.
Yeah. You can't change. You can't change. So now we know that you're teachers, and teachers make all the money, so you have unlimited budget to buy food. What do you end up doing?
So we buy all the food that we need because it's an investment in our health. Yeah. And we love to crack jokes about why does the non-healthy food, why is it so inexpensive? Like you can buy Top Ramen for a nickel, or
where do you get
it's like 7 cents. 7 cents for Top Ramen, not like a cup of noodles. Anyways, it's so much easier to buy like a frozen pizza for so cheap, right? And you go to get like a spaghetti squash and it's like $2.99 a pound and they weigh a lot. And so it's hard. But we've come to the place where it's an investment, and we buy the things that are on our list for the week, and we make the things that are on our list. Of course, we're wise shoppers too, so we go to like 3 to 4 stores. Whoever has the best deals will know, like, oh, today, we got to get this from Sprouts, and we got to get this from Walmart, and we got to get this from Costco. So we're not like, yay, we're rich, and we buy all the things. But we're careful about how we spend, but we buy the things, right? The things that we need.
And I'll give her a lot of credit because she loves to plan. She has this planner, and so
cute.
What we'll do is we'll sit down like once a month and plan out a whole month of meals to a whole month of dinners worth. And it takes a while, but it's so worth it to know that we have 4 weeks worth of meals that we're going to be able to eat, and we know what to shop for every week. So it's a big help.
Wow, that's amazing. I definitely would say that I'm a planner in the aspect of me and my wife discuss what we're going to eat, but we don't write it down. And we don't probably plan more than like, maybe like 3 meals a week, because like Monday nights I work at WW, so I eat alone. And then like tonight I coach WW, so I come home and eat alone. Like normally on Thursdays I play music at church, and sometimes I eat alone, that kind of stuff. So then like Tuesday and Wednesday are kind of our days where we plan something, and most of the time that would be like dinner and then leftovers the next night. And then we typically would cook something and have family night on Friday night, and then cook all day Saturday, because that's the day I cook food and share it with all the WW family. So it's interesting how how do y'all like split up the cooking? Are y'all equal share cooks, or is one of you the sous and one of you's the master chef? How's this work?
A really great question.
Yeah.
Rick does a lot of our lunch meal prep for Monday through Friday. He generally does most of that like by himself, the actual lunch portions. He weighs and measures and does all that stuff mostly. I mean, we're a tag team in general, but I would say that's his like strong suit. Where I'm usually more of the like dinner preparer. So nightly, I will be cooking what we're doing Monday through Friday or whatever we're doing, and he cleans.
So as she's cooking, I'm just kind of cleaning what she's using. So kind of just like
Love
a
that.
little tag team we got going on.
So
Absolutely.
we kind of do that. And as far as like snacks and things like that, we're weighing and measuring. We just kind of take turns for, for we're weighing out our pretzels for the week, or, washing and drying our grapes and all, that sort of thing. We just tag team that until it's done. Hi, Yvonne.
And we just like to, oh, there she is.
We're just talking about you.
We like to like pre-package pretty much everything. So let's say we get home on a Monday afternoon and we need lunch for Tuesday. We just grab and pack, and it takes like 2 minutes as opposed to having to cook a whole meal. Like we have snacks packed, we have fruit, we have everything in containers. So it's just it takes work up front to be able to save time during the week.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you feel like that is crucial because of eliminating the ability for you to get off track? Because what are the options you're talking about? Like a school lunch, or maybe leaving school to go get a lunch somewhere or something like that?
That everything you just said. Yes. So it's like hours on Sunday. So Sunday we're like, it's busy, right? Because we work out, we get up early, we work out, we go to church, we go and have lunch with our friends, and then we come home, and then it feels like we're straight like cooking for hours, and it's a little frustrating and overwhelming at times. But then Monday through Friday we're set, and we are set up for success, and it's worth it. Like I would say to you, if you're not doing it yet, friends, it's worth it. Like it really is. And then, not to say we'll never go off plan, right? There are days where we're like, like I don't want to have like let's have this instead. We can be flexible, but at least we're not like last second, like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna eat? And then we're so hungry that we're just like, oh, let's just run and get whatever like out. We don't want to fall into our old habits of 15 times eating out.
So what do you feel like over the last two and a half months, whatever it is, it's caused this 7 and 9 pounds to like creep back on you? What has been? We're far enough away from Christmas. We can't necessarily blame Christmas. What is? What's the slip here?
Well, go ahead.
I for sure. So once we reached roughly goal about a year, we maintained most of that off the scale. So I have a really unhealthy relationship with the scale, and we decided to do like once a month weighing in, just to make sure we were kind of in the vicinity, but not every single week, because I was literally, no like exaggeration, like losing sleep over having to weigh in every Saturday morning. And that happened for a year-ish, where I was awake the whole night just stressing about the weigh-in on Saturdays. And I realize it's not for everybody. That weighing in can be really exciting for a lot of people, but it wasn't for me as a stress factor. So we stopped weighing in. So that was that's part of it. And it's been fine for a year. It works. But then we also stopped tracking on the weekends. So we are big trackers Monday through Friday. And then we were like, we're careful enough. Let's just be mindful on the weekends. And that worked for a little while too. Like honestly, like we were staying in goal in our range for about like 6 months, not tracking on the weekends. And I was finding a lot of freedom in that part of it.
And the danger with that is that you kind of lose sight of like what portions look like. You lose sight of like, because obviously we have weeklies for a purpose, and we used them the whole time we were losing weight that first year, which is where bulk of it came. And so we knew that we could indulge in the weeklies, but when we stopped kind of tracking them on the weekends, that's when we're like, this is close enough. Yes.
And because we were maintaining that weight loss for so long, it gave us this false sense of security, like, oh, we can have more now because we're not gaining weight. And that's what happened for me personally. And like last week, 2 weeks ago, before I hit the reset button, I ate like 36 homemade chocolate chip cookies.
Where was I?
You were here.
Oh.
I just eat them. He doesn't say no to me.
That may sound like a lot of smart points, but that sounds like a good time.
It was fun while it lasted, and then I was like, well, my jeans don't button anymore. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But little things like that.
So I always say that like there's that narrow point to where you're trying to navigate between shame and regret. So it sounds like that eating 36 cookies probably carried you on both sides of that. Like you regret eating some of those cookies, and
Yes.
maybe. But what I'm curious is like if you hadn't eaten any, would you also regret that? Like passing up that moment, like.
That's a sweet question.
I would say yes.
Yes, probably
Yeah.
because they were okay. They were like a gift.
Mhm.
Oh, is this Jasmine's cookies?
Yeah.
The cookies were like this big.
They're like ginormous. And anyways, whatever. That's not the point. The point is that I was aware of my choices, and then we went to Disneyland. Right, we did the meetup with everyone at Disneyland,
Oh,
and
blessed.
so we had like a no track weekend. Now, anyway,
Yeah.
there were a lot of things, but we were experiencing life, and enjoying life, and doing the things that were making us happy. And then we hit a point where literally like my jeans were too tight, and then it was like, oh, it was a good wake up call, and I needed to stop, and I did. You know, like we get the tools, right? Like once we know what to do, they're always there for us to like go back to. Like that's what you guys, well, coaches, you know, all that teach us. So I think it's okay. I want to like just share with everyone. It's like, you don't have to be perfect all the time. And, you know, it's fun to live life sometimes with a little bit of freedom, but not too much freedom because then it can get a little out of control. I think the best thing for us when we're out of control is to realize it, to say it out loud to somebody like, hey, I'm a little bit out of control right now. Can you help me say no to some of these things I've been saying yes to for 6 months? You know, don't let me eat 36 cookies. I did say that.
Yeah.
But you know.
And I had to ask her like, well, what if I see you on the couch eating a bunch of cookies? What am I supposed to? What do you want me to do? And she's like, say something to me. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, but I guess you kind of break it apart, and like you all the things that you could potentially learn from that situation is if you look at having not eaten any, then maybe the event of eating 36 is still in your future. Like it's just going to happen at some point. You withhold, and then you decide. So had there not been a period of time where you were eating any kind of quality cookies, like good quality cookies, where you felt like you were satisfying that need, I think that's the stronger behavior change that we're looking for is like, what part of my journey am I not satisfying? Because if that need is satisfied, then maybe 2 cookies would have satisfied it. Right. But if it's not satisfied, then you're likely coming at it from such a rapid speed that you're going to run right on past 2 and go to 6 or 8 or 10, and then whatever, then it can snowball. That's one of the things that I always want people to know is like restriction and abstinence from food that you love will not end pretty.
Yeah, and we've experienced that. I can't count how many times. Like we've done so many attempts at weight loss before this, where it was just like has to be super strict. You can't have any sweets.
Not WW. He's talking like other
stuff. And so you know, and it's been super restrictive. And I think the longest we've lasted is 2 months. And we had like weight loss, but it was just not a sustainable lifestyle at all. Yeah. So I think we need to find that balance where we can say yes to those indulgences, but not overdo it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so true that a lot of weight loss happens in our head. You may lose pounds, but weight loss happens when you actually assign the value right here and determine that behavior, I'm going to think about it and assess it and see what was causing me to do that, because being overweight is a symptom of what's going on within ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, how we look at ourselves, how we act, respond to situations. There are surely some things that are worthy reasons. I'm not saying everything is a bad reason. There are worthy reasons to gain weight, but there are many, many more worthy reasons to be able to get healthy, and a side attribute of getting healthy is losing weight. Losing weight is not a path to become healthy. You become healthy as you think about things differently, and then you lose weight. So that is purely my opinion, but there are many people that share that opinion. So how do y'all feel like, as this journey has progressed and losing 100 and losing near 50, almost 60 or whatever you're saying, how do you feel like your thought of yourself, when you think about Rick, when you think about Yoli, how do you think about yourself differently over the last 2 years?
You go.
For me, it's just knowing that I can do this healthy eating thing, this mindful eating, this wellness journey, I can do it for the long haul. Because like I said previously, it's like we've tried, and I've always been like go hard like the whole way, and I just crash, and and so it's proven to me like I can do this for the long haul. And I think I found a lot of comfort in that, knowing that this isn't something that's just going to go away, and it's sustainable. And I think I've learned the big key word for me that I've learned is sustainability. Like it's something that we want to keep for the rest of our lives. I think kind of living this lifestyle that we're doing right now.
I struggle with self-confidence. So this year is a year of like looking at the things that I've done and trusting that it's not going to go away. So like I'm always waiting for like the other shoe to drop. Like I kind of feel like nothing good could stay good in my life.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like how I see things. And I always kind of feel like, well, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy of blah blah. And so I'm really, really working on like, wow, like I'm doing these things, and I'm gonna continue to do these things. Like it's okay to trust in myself. It's okay to be proud of myself. It's okay to encourage myself the way I would encourage everyone else, because I'm so rough to myself. I would never, ever, ever, ever say to any of you all what I say to myself. Like if you could hear me speak to myself, it's just not cool. Yeah, I would never speak like that to anyone else. So why am I doing it to myself? So I'm in that journey where I'm really working at
how to love yourself.
Yes, it sounds so cheesy, but it's part of my journey that is not easy.
And I think I don't know if you're gonna get upset that I share this, but
here we go.
I think it's very deep rooted for her, because growing up, like her mom was super critical of her, like all growing up, like physically.
Mom, I hope you're not watching.
I don't think she is, but it's like, and even to this day, like my mother-in-law says things that are not the kindest, and I don't think she means them out of like malice, but it's just the way she is. And so her growing up, just hearing constant criticism about her physical appearance, because physical appearance was something that was very important to her mom. So I think it's been instilled in her since a very young age.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're absolutely beautiful now, so it's all good, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's
So,
not
okay,
even-
I want
Just kidding.
So I want to tell you one thing, and like you should go watch or listen. I think it's probably a video as well, but I know for one you can listen to it. You should listen to Oprah's Super Soul podcast if you want. And the person that you should look at as she's interviewing is Brene Brown, and she talks about the exact thing that you're talking about, and foreboding joy, and great things that come, but like foreboding joy, and like not letting joy happen because we think that at some point it will end, and that kind of stuff. It is amazing to listen to. I've listened to it multiple times, so just listen to it. It's a great one to listen, and obviously anytime Oprah's talking, somebody's listening. But Brene Brown is an amazing person as well. So I was just curious, like, as y'all's journey has kind of transpired and you've started to grow an Instagram following, and I don't know if y'all share on other platforms like Connect and that kind of stuff, but like, what has it meant for you to like actually see the fact that I have done these things for me? I've done it for me, solely for me. I am a better version of me, but now I get to tell my story via these platforms socially. What has it meant for you to be able to tell that, and then as far as like getting it out and like sharing that truth about yourself, but then all of the things that come back, the people that say, oh, that's awesome, or you inspired me, and that kind of stuff. What has it meant for you to begin to tell your story?
I'm getting emotional. You talk, because I can't yet. Give me a second.
Okay. All right. I think for me, again, just having very low expectations of this, of WW, and just not even being aware that the community existed is, for me, it's like an opportunity to build relationships and to get to know people that I would never, ever cross paths with on IG, you know, people that share in the same goals, that are going through some of the same struggles, that are having the same successes, things that we connect on via fitness or whatever. So to me, it's just an amazing spot to like be able to create community.
Okay, sorry.
Ready to talk.
I mean, I was even like just reading some of the messages. Obviously, we can't, like get to them all, but they're just so encouraging. And oh my gosh, am I your first crier ever?
No.
Okay.
No, you're not.
I just love you guys.
I think I've cried on
much.
here.
And the relationships that we've created, they're just so, they mean a lot to me. Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
I just love you guys so much. And
Yeah.
I just love the encouragement, and I just like to be an encouragement for you. And the relationships are just everything to me. And the fact that like we even story, like it doesn't seem it, I think, because we do it so regularly now, but like our first year of Instagram, maybe a year-ish, we didn't talk at all on stories.
Yeah.
And I was just so moved by so many people that we would see. And I was like, I kind of want to try that. And I really felt like the Lord was like pushing me to just be like, have a voice and do something with what I'm doing in your life. And I just, in total faith, just was like, okay, I'm going to start. And like our first stories were just so ridiculous and so hard.
It was
and
very
yeah, they were awkward to watch.
I didn't want to look at the screen. I was like,
I remember like months and months ago, like for it's unique, like back then, I don't know how long it's been. It's been over a year probably, but like when I first saw y'all's Instagram, and I think I probably followed y'all, but like I was like Rick and Yoli, like two people, like what's up with this? Like, you know, I remember that, but then like y'all storied a little bit, and like something was funny, or you said something serious. Well, I can remember what it was, but I was like, you know, this is worth a follow, so I follow you. And, you become one of the many until you start to stick out, and that's what's so great about this community is like you can stick out when you're yourself. You know, that's one thing that I love about like this IG community, especially Connect, you know, and some of it over on Facebook as well, but like mostly just here on Instagram is like if you're genuine and unique and honest, like the love that you put out will come back so much exponentially bigger. It's just so good, and I enjoy every moment that I get to do this. It's such a blessing. And you know, I've the number of people that I get to speak to on like messages in here and like private messages that people send me, like serious stuff. Like especially since I put out my text messages and stuff, like I've had some serious people text message me and say thank you for being that one person that would listen. And like it's fine, you know, like I can make myself available to do that, and I know that's a thing. Like that whole thing is a thing that I wish I could just share with people and say, hey, listen, there is freedom that comes with you telling your story. That is an overcoming, arching freedom of the things that have held you back for your entire life comes when you tell your testimony of your life. And, you know, and I know we're both believers of faith, so that might be scripture, but that's truth for anyone in the world as we do that. So I love that y'all share the way you are, the way you really are, and you're honest and truthful. And I believe that will always come back in good fruit, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it wasn't always like that because for me, I was like, wait, what do I say? And I was like, does this sound okay? I always kind of rehearsed what I was going to say, and it was just so awkward. And then I just realized, like, you know what? We can't just be on Instagram, part of this community, and just be consuming. Like, we have to give back. Yeah. It's a whole give and take, and it's like it's been so much better, and we've just created so many relationships, people that we got to meet in real life. Like, a couple weeks ago, right?
Disneyland.
Yeah, and so like to meet people in real life and to just bond with them over things that are non-IG and non Weight Watchers stuff. It's been really cool, and I think it's been really freeing to just be ourselves. And a lot of times we do joke around, we say silly things, and that's just us. We don't script anything we say. It's just like,
oh my gosh,
sometimes you get some ridiculous stuff coming out.
Mostly from him. I try to censor myself every now and then.
I love it. I love it. So, all right. So tell me, like, what it means for you as far as like mindset. Like, what is the thing that centers you the most? Like, is it community? Is it working out? Is it, you know, like a regimen with food? Or is there some other like thing that really brings you back to like, oh my gosh, I just don't feel right? What helps you get back to the way you feel? Because I feel like a lot of the success that we have on our WW journey is really how we feel. For me, I didn't feel good and I wanted to lose weight to feel better. When I start to feel better, I feel like now, even still, that's how I truly opened the door for the real me to come out and like actually get to live the life and not just survive the life, but actually thrive in this life. What do you feel like are the key elements that help you thrive?
People help me thrive. Because I'm such a people person, and And a routine. I need a routine. Like I have an expectation for what my days are going to look like, what my week's going to look like, and sometimes even my month. As he said, we do like month meal plans. But just being connected with everybody, and whether it's sharing a meal or just encouraging somebody, I just feel like the relationships are so helpful for me to stay. Well, I mean, he's my number one. Y'all already know that. Like, he's everything, the support in my whole entire life. Like, anything I do, he's just, God has gifted me with this guy for sure. But he's a brat and hard to like deal with at times, but he's worth it. So I mean, he helps me. Like, he knows, I know I have to work out because Rick's gonna work out, and we cook together and we do all those things together. So that's for sure. But apart from Rick, I would say it's like the relationships that we have, or like, even like I said, like I knew I needed to hit a reset button, and being able to say it out loud to so many of you and be held accountable by you guys, helps me to want it, because I don't want to like disappoint anybody. So if I put it out to more than just him, then I do more for others than myself. Is that dumb?
Yeah, totally. So what if y'all said y'all had it, what is your two things I want to know. What is your favorite WW meal that you prepare? And then what is your guilty pleasure on WW?
Ooh, oh my gosh, that's so hard.
Mine's the same answer for both.
I know what he's gonna say.
Favorite WW meal is the 3-ingredient dough pizza.
Okay.
Which is very low points. And then regular restaurant pizza is my guilty pleasure.
Okay.
So pizza and pizza.
Oh my gosh, there's so many good, I mean, right? Like, you cook everyone's good food. There's so many good things. Like, Ed has like a million, like I really love like those like one pot, like the sun-dried tomato chicken pasta bit. There's a few of those, like Star has one and Ed has one, and
you can't say all these amazing cuts and not mention Stella.
Stella has her cheesy taquitos. Like, it's hard to just choose one. Something in that, like something, I don't know. That was a hard question, Phil. But my indulgence would probably be
ice cream.
I would even say more food. Like, I think I don't even need as much ice cream, except for Mr. Softy. That one time I did it like 6 weeks in a row. That was another reason why I gained 13 pounds, was Mr. Softies. But anyways, I would say I'm into the cheeseburger and French fries right now.
Okay.
That's honest, right?
Yeah. You're in California, y'all go to
In-N-Out?
In-N-Out?
Not really.
We don't like In-N-Out. We like Freddy's.
We have one like 2 miles away. We never go to it.
I'm sure.
Oh, is that like the frozen custard place?
Yes.
Yes.
We have those here in Oklahoma City. That's awesome.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's good.
You could be lying just to not
said it
disappoint us. He was like, hey.
Well, I'm not necessarily like a crazy sweet person. I'm more of like my Achilles heel is chips, potato chips, and popcorn, and that kind of
Which
stuff.
kind of
Like,
tips?
well, I like my favorite. If I was eating my favorite, it'd be Cheetos. My go-to regular is like Munchos.
Never had one
Salty
of those.
potato chips. Oh, Munchos are the jam. They're like the
But they leave your
saltiest.
fingers all greasy.
Oh
You're
yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
Use a napkin. What do you mean this?
It's like 1995, right out of high school, all good. Yeah. I
so you
love
get the
that.
big bag like that for 99 cents?
Mm-hmm.
Here we
Absolutely. And what's funny is like I still, even for the first like probably year, almost 2 years of my journey, every Thursday night I would go buy those chips and eat them on my way to music practice, and then I would come home and eat like a 2-point dinner because I had already spent all my points on those chips, but I wanted those chips. Now, most recently I've stopped doing that, but on occasion I still eat them, because if I don't, I'm going to stop and eat them when I don't have the points to eat them. Right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So with the Poppables, what flavor is it?
Oh, the sea salt and
Sea
vinegar.
salt. They similar taste to Munchos. I don't know if you've tried it.
I have. We actually got a whole bunch of Poppables and ate several different kinds. The cheddar ones are pretty good. So, and I've had the sea salt. There's a couple others I had. I think we had sour cream ones one time too. Those are good. I just like them all. I can just give me them all. But but I do like sweets. Like occasionally I'll make. Most of the time I'll make like a 1-point or 0-point mug cake at night. That kind of stuff. If I want something sweet with monk fruit. or I'll have like 2 points worth of chocolate ice cream from Aldi, and sometimes I'll put like Lily's chocolate chips on top of it or something like that. Sometimes I'll put brownie brittle on it, some like 20 grams of brownie brittle, low points, that kind of stuff. Super good. So I like that, but that's not what, if I was going to like screw my day up on, it's not that. I'm going to plan that, execute that. It's the chips that would get me. It was me wanting to eat chips before I go pick the kid up and come home and still eat dinner, which is old behavior that I have to watch because I was a snacker in between all the hospitals that I would go to at my job. I would eat a snack, and then I would go to another hospital, eat a snack, and then eat a meal, and then eat a snack. And so that was my thing. So stopping that behavior is one of the key things for me to have success on WW.
Well, my friends are reminding me that I actually really like the Stonefire carrot cake. They're right. Do you guys have Stonefire there?
We don't. I've never heard of that.
So
it's a healthy choice place for candy.
I think we're about to get a place called Flower Child. You ever heard of that?
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
but
so
a side note about her pre-WW.
Oh my gosh! Here we go, guys.
So she used to be a server.
I was young.
Oh.
And she worked at this place that had amazing pies and cakes.
Square.
And she rationalized that if she eats the carrot cake, it's the healthiest choice because it has carrots in it.
Not the cream cheese frosting didn't give you a key?
I was like 16. I didn't know a lot about health back then. Oh, please stop. Next question, Phil.
Oh, golly. That's funny. That's funny. So, what do you think is the thing that like kind of clicked for you this time, that this time we're doing it? That's one of the phrases that I say all the time, like this time we're doing it. Like you haven't, I mean, obviously you felt like you've slipped back a little bit, but like you've already accomplished the success and now you're trying to maintain a totally different thing. But like what's different from every other time that you tried to lose weight this time?
I think this time we don't feel deprived. Yeah. We eat, even when we're cooking like WW food, it's delicious. Yeah. Like we have amazing, okay, honestly, we'll even say, because before this, as you know, I didn't cook at all. But I cook all the time now, and it's like, honestly, a lot of the things that we prepare at home taste better than what we were paying for when we were eating out anyways. Yeah. So I think just I do a lot of like looking and scrolling through like recipes and saving recipes and adding them to Copy Me That, so that I have I never get tired of the food we're eating, because we're eating delicious things all the time. Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily feel like we're on a diet. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just eating delicious food and losing weight. Yeah. Or maintaining now. You know, it's been a long time. Yeah. But how do you complain about that when you're eating delicious food and you're happy with your weight?
Oh yeah, you know? I say all the time that if you are doing WW and not having fun, you're doing it wrong. I mean, this is really just fun. Like you present a problem to me, I want to solve it. Like, what's the problem? I want to eat pizza. All right, make it fit. Either make the pizza or go out and eat pizza and make it fit. Yeah. Goal accomplished. You know, we're just having fun. We're eating. We're doing the things we want to do. It is a sustainable lifestyle. And I realize that is not something that you learn, that mindset, over time. Do you feel like there were some key, maybe tenets that kind of came into place for you to be able to think that way? Like for most people, a lot of the first things that they do when they engage with WW is just make the changes with food. It just makes the most sense to start with that way. You don't walk in the door and be like, I'm going to change my mindset. Here we go. So, I mean, obviously you can start working out from day one. I didn't, because I had a really bad knee. So I had to wait before I could, I'd lost 100 pounds, and then I decided that I had lost enough that I could try to start working out. And I did, and successfully I've maintained that. But I know for a lot of people, the idea of thinking that they have to work off the weight is one of the things that prevents them from doing it. Do you feel like that like for your activity, is that one of the things that really helped you, or is it just one of the things that just helped you feel good enough to know that you could do it?
Activity's always been there, but I mean, to kind of answer your question, for me, one of the things was that believing in the program and not believing only in myself, because before I felt like I'm the one that had to do everything. It had to be my way. It had to be 100%, you know, foot to the floor on the gas pedal. and it was all up to me. And I didn't I had, like I said, I had very low expectations with the WW program. And so 15 pounds lost came and went. And I was like, all right, well, sure, that's going to happen. And then 20 pounds, I was like, okay, 25. And then I really I didn't really buy into it 100%, say, okay, yeah, this is for us. This is a lifestyle until I hit 50 pounds. I was like, okay, this is real. This is legit. Because it just kept happening and happening. And so I believed in what I was doing instead of just putting it all on my shoulders. And as we know, we can only go so far. At some point, we're going to stumble. Mm-hmm. I think that's where you kind of lean upon the program. You lean upon each other. If you have a significant other or a friend or accountability partner, or you lean on the people on Instagram or your meetings or wherever you can find that person. I think you definitely lean on that.
Like that song, Lean On Me. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead. When you're not strong.
That's right. We need to have a jam in here. All right. So where did y'all come up with the rating game? Tell me about that.
Oh my gosh. That's near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Okay. So the rating game
is old.
We've always done it since forever. When we first were dating, it was something we did privately. So we rate everything. We'll rate a movie or a new food, whether or not we'd come back to a restaurant. So it's just been part of our life. And I was saying to him that I wanted us to have a thing. I was like, we should have a thing. You watch different people and they do different things and it's fun and it's their thing. And I was like, we need a thing.
So what is my thing?
Well, your thing is you're really good at adding all the music that matches to your, you said you were a DJ?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day.
DJ Phil in the mix.
I think you're fantastic at matching songs to people's, when you do your box question things. I love when you do that.
Yeah,
Phil's gonna do that. But
I also try to start every post with the same two words.
WW ambassador?
No. I'm talking about when I'm talking.
Oh, when you're talking. What is it? Tell us.
Hey, family.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. So I always do that. It's the same way. It's the same way Biz always does.
I saw your...
it's the fam. With him, the Fabulous Fit Mama always does that.
Yeah. I saw your post today, obviously with the red shirt. I saw you do that, So.
So that's kind of become my thing. I was like, if I just start saying the same thing every time, then it's people will know, hey, it's Phil talking. So
I love that.
All right, so y'all just started this yourself, just doing it back and forth between each other. It's so fun. What are some of the funniest interactions that you've had with other people or whatever?
Sometimes we keep it real. If there's a danger, because a lot of times we love the product and it's fun and easy to talk about, but sometimes we don't, right? And we're going to give it to you straight because it's really important for us to stay honest.
Yeah, and we don't say okay, how did you like it? Anytime we do a rating, it's 100% on the spot, and we kind of go through what we liked about it or why we didn't like it.
And then we'll give you our ideas of what we felt like the texture was or what the taste was, and our old school ones were really rough. If you go through our highlights, we have 4 different you can only save so many per. Anyways, our original ones are rough, but our ones now are a little bit more fun.
I think one of the things that kind of set it off for being funny. I think we were trying some cherry things.
Oh my gosh, yeah, those chocolate cherry
crackers. And so I made a comment that it tasted like I had wood chips in my mouth.
Chocolate powdered wood chips or something. He said something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
And then it got a million DMs about that. It was really funny. I was like, see, when you're just yourself, it's so much more fun. And then it just became a playful, it's been, we get a lot of really good feedback from everyone. And then we'll even get people saying oh, can you rate this next? Or we've been wondering about that power. What's that power one thing called, y'all? You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, people will ask us to try different things. So that's kind of fun.
I mean, y'all can, be known for that, and maybe companies will send stuff for you to rate, and then be like, it's like the hot or not version of food or whatever.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we try to focus on things that are products or foods that are WW friendly, because it's just something we can. It's our little way to give back, whether it's entertainment or just information or our opinion. We can give that back.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let me see if there's anything else that I necessarily need to. I always love really digging into people's mindset and how they think about stuff. So if you were to explain to someone like the, I don't know, like the Rick and Yoli top 2 things that you have to do to be successful your way, what are the key elements of success doing it y'all's way?
I would say for sure one is planning.
Yeah.
Would you say that?
Yeah. Planning, like putting
Planning.
the effort in, because if you can have all the intention in the world, but if you don't have a plan, you're going to scramble when it's time to like get your meals together. And that's when maybe you will go over your points or have no idea like what to buy at the grocery store. So definitely planning.
And then maybe even to like piggyback that along with the planning is budgeting time to do all the things that you need to do, because we're busy. Everyone's busy, and it's really easy to be like, well, I don't have time for that. But the truth is we have time for everything. We just have to prioritize what our choices are going to be in that time we're using. So we could watch Love is Blind on Netflix.
It's
Good show.
Or, you can say, I'm going to spend 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it's going to be, whatever that looks like. You have to make the choice to do it. So budgeting time, I think, is key.
Is that 1 or 2 things?
Oh, I don't know.
1.5?
8.
All right. I'd say the other big thing is because it's been successful for us is find someone or a group that you can be accountable to. Because it's, again, I think doing it alone is just, sure, you can go for X amount of time, but at some point you're going to hit a bump in the road. You're going to have an off day. You're going to have a rough day. It's going to be a bad day emotionally. And, if you're part of a community or just have another partner, it's like they're there to pick you up.
That's so good. Especially because we're online only. We've always been online.
Okay.
So I think too, like he just said, like having community, when you're online only, it can feel lonely. Like you don't have the meetings and all the people and the coaches to like guide you through all those things, and the weekly handouts that are helpful, like this week we're going to focus on this. So if you are just online only, it's important to plug in with somebody, to establish relationship with somebody. And it doesn't have to be maybe it's not your spouse, maybe your spouse isn't doing it, or maybe your best friend isn't doing it, but somebody is. And there's somebody on the internet, online, who is going to be that you can connect with. We're all so different, and there's so many accounts to choose from, right? So just find the people that you are drawn to and you feel comfortable with, and start DMing and like creating relationships so that you can say to them when you're struggling, and they'll encourage you through that. Or you can post and someone will write back and be like, you hang in there, restart, you're okay, it doesn't have to end right now. All the positive things, that we get to do. Like that's why we're all here, right? Like
absolutely.
We want each other to succeed.
Yes, we're all different, like she said, but we're linked by WW.
That's right. Absolutely. And I think one key element too, and then I want to give you all a couple of minutes to ask any questions you have of me, but one key thing is to realize that no matter where you are and no matter what's going on in your life, the person that has to do it is you, and the person that can do it is you.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter where you're at or what circumstance that you're in, because you have a purpose in this life that is far greater than being able to lose weight. You have a purpose, an intended purpose for your soul to do things on this earth and to be a blessing for other people. And if you step into that purpose, the weight will come off. It is a byproduct of you finding your center and who you're supposed to be. So I believe that everyone can do this. It is not a unachievable goal for anyone. So I really appreciate y'all coming on with me. So I'll give y'all a couple of minutes to ask anything you want to know of WW Phil.
Well, before you ask your questions, just to kind of add on to what your point about, like, we have to do it. I think for some people, though, it might take some time. Like, for me, it did, to believe that I could do it, because my initial reasons for doing this were for her, because ultimately, as a husband, my happiness comes from being able to make her happy. And, like, I get so much joy out of making her happy and bringing joy to her life. Like, it's such a fulfilling thing for me. So I started doing this for her, but then as we kept going, like, you know what, this is for me too. Because if it was only about her, it wouldn't have stuck. And so I think eventually I realized it was for me in the long run.
That's good.
That's awesome. I'm glad you did, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too, sir. I wish you would have remembered your tiny hands. Like,
I know, sorry.
So my question is, like, what's your favorite thing about being an ambassador?
Ooh, my favorite thing about being an ambassador. I think it's just kind of a double down on me being able to talk to people and get an audience with more and more people. It's not free stuff, or it's not none of that. I mean, that is just stuff, and sometimes that's overwhelming because so much comes in that you can't even eat it all or whatever, give it away, that kind of stuff. But I think that having lost all the weight that I did and telling my story that got me to that point, it was a little bit of an affirmation that obviously recognized by WW is a great thing. But it just opened up the door for me to have a platform to help people, because I know that I needed someone like me in my life to help me walk through those first and early days. And I want to be that person. So being an ambassador is nothing more than just a door for me to walk through every day and say that if you need help, I will help you. And I know that you can do it. And I love the platform to be able to do it. I believe